Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to yet another very exciting, informative culinary webinar. This afternoon, hosted by our dear chef, Sneha Bandare, and is going to go tete-a-tete with Chef Kamlesh Salve. Participants, you're requested to note down your questions and put them in the chat section to be addressed at the end of the webinar. Over to you, Sneha ma'am. Ma'am, if you could kindly unmute yourself.
Can I be heard now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Kainaz ma'am. I'm really glad to see many of our students, attending this webinar with that zeal to learn from the experience of our guest speaker today. Good afternoon to our ever motivating principals, Dr. Rukshana Bilamoria and Mr. Harish Suvarna, my team members and our dear students. On behalf of everyone at Anjuman Islam, IHMCT, I take this opportunity to welcome a renowned chef from the industry who has given a new dimension to Indian cuisine. A very warm welcome to Chef Kamlesh Salve from the Mirador Hotel, Mumbai, a hotel with the art of serving their guests with style and elegance. Chef Kamlesh Salve, Executive Chef, Mirador Hotel, Mumbai. Chef Kamlesh, Chef Kamlesh comes with an amalgamation of strong culinary skills, wide range of experiences, and management skills over a period of 9 years. Chef Kamlesh has worked with leading hotel brands across the city of dreams, Mumbai, notably with Vivanta by Taj, the Novotel Mumbai, Residency Sarovar Portico Mumbai. He has carried the mantle of executive chef at the Mirador Hotel Mumbai for past 7 years and is still going strong. To talk about his achievements, wow, chef has a huge bag full of them. He was felicitated by Professional Chef Association Romania for contribution to the world culture and gastronomical event. He was nominated in the category of Visionary Executive Chef at Hospitality Leaders Industry Choice Award 2019, featured on the channel Food XP UK in the show Meethe Mein Kya Hai, functioned as a jury member for MasterChef India Season 6, featured in the Gemplex web series Khane Ke Diwane. He has also attempted for Limca Book of Records for maximum number of chefs cooking together on a virtual platform with a single core ingredient. He has also given write-ups for various food magazines, Food and Beverage Business Review, Vintage Secrets, etc. Oof, I would actually require the entire day to talk about his achievements. Instead, it will be great to listen to him and get mesmerized from chef himself. Many people are mystified by traditional Indian cuisine and various techniques of cooking. India has one of the finest and the richest history in the world. It ranges from simplest of the simplest dal khichdi to the most elaborate ones like murg musallam, khad khargosh, and dumba biryani. Indian cuisine makes use of a variety of spices, meats, fruits, vegetables, and most importantly, native and its seasonal ingredients. It is also influenced by various trade movements that took place in the earlier times and a lot of communities that belong to this various castes and creeds which live here. Many more of such mantras will now be revealed today in this webinar. Indian cuisine mantras, and also various innovations and modifications that Chef Kamlesh has brought about in the authentic dishes of India. Let us now go ahead and learn more about all of them from Chef himself. Over to you, Chef Kamlesh.
Warm welcome to all of you. And I would say that it's been a great opportunity to basically speak to a lot of at least 100 people I can see on the screen. The whole management of Anjuman Islam, the ordinary principal, Chef Girish, Madam Sneha for giving this wonderful opportunity to have a talk with the young people. And I would like to say that the journey I started from the year 2003, and I would say total experience I have of 19 years of total beach experience. And why would somebody think that why would somebody get fascinated with the Indian cuisine? So the basic thing is we all are Indians. The first thing to start off with, and from the day we are born, we all have been mesmerized with the Indian cuisine. When the child basically walks with his mother's hand, okay, what first thing he has is basically mother's milk. So I would say the cuisine, I would say the Indian cuisine, what we are there, it's just like a mother milk to all the people, to the people of India. So, and when we are in childhood, that we have been just like basic food, what ma'am has introduced, that right from a basic dal khichdi to dal ka pani to chawal. So this is I would say that this is just the introduction of the Indian food to one's mind. So what I would say that and why Indian cuisine is I would say that India is such a subcontinent which is basically rich in more of soil, more of climate, its culture, its occupation. An Indian diet consists of various type of fruits, vegetables, dairy products, curd, milk, ghee, buttermilk, and various lot of things. Uh, in this journey of which I'd like to continue for the next 35 to 40 minutes, we would like to touch upon the most of the regional cuisine. And why regional cuisine? The answer is very simple. Because I would say that globally, when somebody talk about the Indian cuisine, what somebody will say, okay, I know butter chicken, I know garlic naan, I know tandoori chicken, but that is not the whole Indian cuisine. The beauty of the Indian cuisine lies in its own state and lies in the different types of cooking. So that is what the beauty of the Indian regional cuisine is. And what I will be doing in the next coming the coming time, I will be sharing you insights of the different states. I will be sharing the sites of Bengal. I'll be sharing something from Punjab. I'll be sharing something from Maharashtra. And lastly, I would say for the Kerala. Can we get started?
Yes, sure. I'll just start the screen sharing.
Screen sharing, ma'am, I would say we can do in the later part. First, we will.
I think Chef has lost connectivity. He will
Lost
join
Chef,
back
yes.
again. I'll just check with him.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
I can hear
Chef.
you.
Sorry.
No?
There is a problem with the connection over here. Very sorry for that.
No problem, Chef.
Yeah. So I would like to start off with Bengali cuisine first. After that, we'll be doing a Punjabi, Maharashtrian, and lastly Kerala. So this basically covers all the major regions of India. We'll be covering Eastern region, Northern region, Western, and the Southern region. When I joined the Mirador, basically when 7 years back, the challenge comes in that what Indian cuisine can offer. So I would say that when I joined over here 7 years back, the challenge was the set of people which I was working with. People have a particular mindset. नहीं Indian cuisine में इतना ही होता है, ये सब चीजें होती है. No. This is not basically Indian cuisine. So what we did in the span of time, we traveled across India. That was basically from the year I would say 2014, 2015, and 2016. So in these years, what we did, uh, myself with a few set of people, we traveled in the different regions, and we identified the food, what is there, what has been commercially known, and the food what is actual there is totally different. So I would like to start off with the Bengali cuisine first. Because everybody knows that when it comes to Bengali cuisine, most of the people, it's more of fishy thing. Sorry. It's more of fishy thing. Bengali people love that sweets. Rasgulla, we have sandesh, we have there are a whole lot of Bengali sweets. The mishti doi, which the Bengali cuisine is known as. So I would say that the Bengali cuisine it got its influence from the Persian and the Islamic influence. So this is what are the backroots of the Bengali cuisine, and of course I would say it's rich in taste, which has more flavor of rice. You have that it's rice preparation, fish preparation, and they use more of milk. And I would say the unique dishes, just like the doi march, a unique preparation with the mustard and curd, their unique style of cooking, just like the steaming, braising, stewing. These are all different things which basically gives a particular flavor to its Bengali cuisine. So what am I going to do is I am going to read you few of the dishes which we had learned from the local people from Bengal. So I will just read you out, and we may just after that we may go to the next cuisine. So there is a particular chop which is made up of the banana flour that is called as the machar chops, or it is also been known as the banana flour croquettes. And there is a particular thing which is called as the Calcutta style, what do you say, fish batter, which is known for its crispy fish. You get chingri bora. These are the prawn fritters. Why I'm trying to emphasize on this is because when somebody talks about the Bengali cuisine, so he should notice the inside of that and what is been cooked in the local remote areas. That's one thing, and it is also been known for its chaat, the Janmuri chaat. It is basically Bengali style bhel, and that is also known as aloo kabli. That is aloo kabli, nothing but street food potato and chickpea chaat. What Bengal is also known as, Bengal is also famous for particular rice, which is also known as the Govindabhog rice. What is Govindabhog? Now you guys need to find out, and you need to tell me what Govindabhog is. And traveling, and then moving on to the main courses. Most of the curries has a base of yogurt. Most of the curries has base of mustard. There is milk, and I would say there is a particular dish which is called as labra, Labra, labra. Now, labra is such a dish that it is been basically made during the Durga Puja, or it has been made during the different festivals which has been there in Bengal, and it is just nothing but simple home style ingredients, which has pumpkin, you have cabbage, there is radish, eggplant, potato, and sweet potato. So if you see this is the simplicity of what the Bengali cuisine is, and then you have roasted cauliflower in a rich gravy that is called as the full kopi roast. Then doi Bengal brinjal, which is made in mustard gravy. And coming to the popularity of non-veg, we have rohu fish, which is cooked in mustard sauce. We have a fish which is cooked in banana leaf, and there is a whole lot of range when it's come to the Bengali cuisine. So this is what the Bengali cuisine is, and apart from the desserts which have been included, I said that there is sandesh, there is rasmalai, okay, mishti doi, and I would like to name a few that which we have done. We have made a kheer, which is made up of custard apple, that was called as the atar payesh, and a tapioca pearl kheer. So this is what the Bengali cuisine is, and I would like to move on to the next cuisine. That's the famous Punjabi cuisine. Can we?
Yes, chef. Chef, a
Fine.
request
Yeah.
to put your camera on. We cannot see.
Camera is on, madam.
We're not able to see you, chef. Okay.
Perhaps it's the bandwidth. In that case, can we just share the first screen of your PPT, sir?
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Can you see me now?
Not yet, chef.
Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
No, chef. I'm afraid we're done.
I don't think so. But can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. So can we move on to the next Punjabi cuisine?
Sure, sir. Yeah, ma'am,
Certainly.
if you could just put the first screen of the PPT on so that we can have a
Yes.
background.
Yes, I will.
Do continue, Chef.
Sure. Moving on next to the Punjabi cuisine. Uh, I would say that Punjabi cuisine is popular the whole of the world. When somebody speaks about a Punjabi cuisine, what he speaks about, he speaks about butter chicken, he speaks about garlic naan, he speaks about the rajma preparation, he talks about tandoori roti, he talks about garlic naan, a whole lot of things which has been there in the Punjabi cuisine. And what we know that Punjabi cuisine, that Punjabi is nothing but the land of five rivers, and it is rich for its agriculture. It is rich for its grain, vegetables, fruit. Export is known for its creamy texture. A whole lot of use of ghee, butter, cream. So I don't think so. I don't need to talk more about the Punjabi cuisine, but I would definitely like to put the regional insights of what a Punjabi cuisine looks like. There is a particular dish which is made during the winters. Now, this dish is called as the sardai. Sardai is nothing but a milk-based drink which is made during winters, and it has just simple ingredients, which is poppy seed, almonds, and cardamom powder. Just 3 to 4 ingredients which goes into make the drink. And then we have the tawa basanda, we have the lawari machli. Punjabi is also known for its makke ki roti, sarson ka saag, dal makhni, butter chicken, tandoori murg, and of course Patiala pag. And there is a particular dish which I learned about parathas, because we know when we talk about rotis, we get an option of roti hai, naan hai, parathas hai, we have the rumali rotis. But what learned from me, I got to learn is the hare lasan ka paratha. Now this was actually interesting to me. Hare lasan ka paratha. This is nothing but a paratha which is made up of with the fresh green garlic. And of course, Punjab is also known for its chole kulche. Punjab is also known for its masaledar chap. Now, Punjab is also known for its rajma, but particularly when you travel to Punjab, rajma, it is not called a rajma; it is called the lobia. So if you want to have a rajma, you can definitely call it a lal lobia. And there is a vadi which is called the Amritsari vadi, which is made up of green gram. So I will say that that Punjab has been most of in the winter season. You need to have food which gives warmth to your body. So I would say a combination of sardai, a combination of patiala bag, a combination of tandoori chicken, a combination of vadi and chole ka pulao is there for all your winter foods. And definitely the favorite of all, the gajar ka halwa. But what we learned over here is there is a halwa which is made up of jaggery. This is called as the gur ka halwa. And we invented a dish which is called as the apple and caramel ka firni. So this is what the Punjabi cuisine is. Moving on to Maharashtra. But Maharashtra has been known for its variety of food, right from a mild region to a spicy region, which consists of there is a lot of staple diet which goes into the Maharashtrian food. Bajra, jawar, rice, wheat. These are the major components of a Maharashtrian diet or Maharashtrian meal. And there are various regions in Maharashtra which have been famous for its food. So one basically travels is the Kolhapuri region. Other you have Konkani and Malvan. Then you have Vidarbha. So I would like to run you through a few dishes of Kolhapur. So why Kolhapur? That I would say, because Kolhapur is not just known for its panda rasa or tamra rasa, but Kolhapuri cuisine, there is a whole lot of thing which goes into the Kolhapuri cuisine. There is a particular dish which is made up of mackerel. that is a baked mackerel, which has a spice called as trifle, which has been cooked in the banana leaf. So this is what the actual speciality of a Kolhapuri cuisine is. And we experimented with the famous dish called chicken kharda. So these are the famous dishes of the Kolhapuri cuisine. And there is a curry which is made up of foot curry, footy curry or foot curry. This is again a winter drink which is popular in the Kolhapuri cuisine. And just before the festival of the Kite Festival, which has been celebrated on 14th of January, it is also called as Makar Sankrant. And the day prior to Makar Sankrant in Maharashtra, we call that as Bhogi. There is a sabzi which is particularly made in that place, that is called as the Bhogichi Bhaji. The Bhogichi Bhaji, this is nothing but a combination of all the rich vegetable which has been basically harvested in that winter time. So this is what the speciality of that sabzi is. That's the Bhogichi Bhaji during the winter season in special Kolhapur. And you have kishmur. Kishmur is nothing but combination of dry prawns. You have keema goli bhat. You have the balls of keema. Then you make a rice out of it. Sorry, there is a combination of rice and keema. So this is called as the keema goli bhat. So this is what the Kolhapuri cuisine is. And moving on to Konkan and Malvan. So this is actually my favorite. I would like to share a small story when I was at the Novotel. Because I joined in Novotel after a year or so, we had Shiv Ranveer Barar to join us. And we had a new task when he joined in. So along me, so there were two chefs that had been given to me, and he said that why don't you experiment on the Konkan and Malwani cuisine? Because he said that you have been worked with the Konkan Cafe at the Taj President. Okay, challenge accepted. And myself, along with few chefs, we traveled to the Konkani and Malwani region. This was actually in the span of 2 weeks, where we learned a whole lot of the Konkani and Malwani cuisine. So I would say the commercial cuisine of the Konkan and Malwan, and the cuisine which is being basically cooked in the households, it has a different characteristics. So in the whole stay of 14 days, we never stayed into the hotel. The beauty of this whole stay was we stayed into the small houses of the people. So it was just actually the start of the rainy season, and the whole lot of the paddy fields. You could see small crabs, rain, more of jackfruit, rice, and you could just feel the beauty of the nature when you travel to the Konkan and Malvan. And whenever we used to go to somebody's house, so we were being welcomed with either panha, that is a drink which is made up of raw curry, and then of course soul curry, and a whole lot of seafood we used to savor, and like from prawns to different types of curries and Malwani thalis which we have in the PPTs. I would like to speak about the Malwani masalas when we speak into the PPT part. And moving on to after Malwani and Konkani, there is a particular community in Maharashtra which is called as the Pathare Prabhu. Now, what the Pathare Prabhu is, that you will also know. Pathare Prabhu is basically known for its non-veg eating habits. Then you have the CKP, that is the Chandrasena Kayasya Prabhu, and you have the GSB, that is again a Gaud Saraswat Brahman, that is GSB. And you have famous cuisines of Khandesh, which is known for its Sumka Bakar. Vidarbha, known for again a spicy food, but the extensive use of you have groundnut, extensive use of Kashmiri chilies, extensive use of wheat. So these are the things which are been there in the Maharashtrian cuisine. And of course, not to forget the special Ukdiche Modak and Puran Poli, which we basically Maharashtrians are known for. And after that, I would like to say insights of the Kerala cuisine. So I have completed 3 right now. I have completed the Bengal, I have completed Punjab, Maharashtra, and Kerala. Because I would say that whatever I'm trying to share, these are just the small insights of what we have done. Right from the experimentation of food, just then finding the authenticity of food, trying to find the authenticity of masalas. I would say this is just the small insights of what we're doing. But when you basically dig in, there is a whole lot to learn, and there is a whole lot to learn into it. And I would like to run through Kerala. Kerala, I may say that it's more of a coastal region which is known for its rice. It is known for its famous fish curries, mackerel curry. It is known for its kingfish, pomfret, Kerala spices, of course, and coconut. It has also been that these are basically the non-veg eaters where you get chicken. There is ample amount of mutton has been used, beef has been eaten, pork has been eaten, eggs has been eaten. So the whole lot of cuisines, there is a whole lot of non-veg which goes into the Kerala cuisine. Why? The answer over here is it is the influence from the cuisine of mostly Arab, Dutch, and Jews. And when somebody talks about Kerala Sadhya, so Kerala Sadhya, it has right from range from 24 to 28 dishes, which rises from variety of pickle to papad to chutney to sambar, rasam, avial, olan, halan, thoran, and a whole range of dessert that is also called as the payasam. So I would say that when somebody talks about the Indian cuisine, and we should actually feel proud about the Indian cuisine. Because I would say that Indian cuisine it's not just confined to few things or not just confined to the few regional food which I have spoken about. But I would say that the Indian cuisine is also known and also been famous for its the cooking methods and the cooking utensils. I would say definitely the use of tandoor. Tandoor was been introduced in the Punjab initially, which was also called as the concept of Sanj Chula, and then it got popular whole of the worldwide. So we use different types of vessels, right from copper vessel to a brass vessel to a mud vessel. India is also known as the pickle nation of the world because the different types of pickle what India makes. I think so. Nobody makes in the whole world. And why Indian cuisine is popular? I would say a lively example I'd like to share. It's of Mr. Justin Narayan. Justin Narayan is a chef who won the MasterChef Australia. Just I would say exactly few weeks ago. So this is what I have done, and we may share the slides now.
Okay, Chef, I'll go ahead and share the slides, the rest of the
Sure.
slides.
Sure.
Okay, this slide looks really great. Chef, here in this first picture, I see ghati masala. So, if could you please elaborate on kurdachi bhaji as well as ghati masala?
Sure. Now we experimented with a dish. This was kurdaya. So kurdaya, I would say, is nothing but a papad, which is just like papad, which is mainly made into the Khandeshi region. So the whole base of it is the wheat. So in this, the wheat has been soaked for at least 24 hours, then grinded, then cooked, and then there is a whole lot of patience which goes in making the kurdaya. And you can see the final structure is over there. It is so it basically tastes yum when somebody has that. That's the famous kurdaya for you. And ghati masala is nothing but just a basic masala which has besan, you have peanut, you have chilies, you have the white sesame seeds, which basically goes into the khati masala.
Okay. Can I move on to the next slide, Chef?
Sure.
Okay, Malwani thali. That thali looks really, really yum. Chef, what would you say about Malwani thali?
See, Malwani thali, I would say it's a simple comfort food for me. And I would say that the picture is from the promotion which we did at Innovatel. This is exactly 7 or 8 years back when we came from the region of Malvan. So this was basically introduced in the Innovatel. So rather than going to the commercial thalis and why not when we at home have food in simple thalis? So why not? So the whole concept came in there. So we use the simple steel ka thali and we use simple steel ka wati. So I would say the main component, as Malvin has been said, that the main component mostly seafood. So you can see a good chunk of pomfret which has been seen in front of you. Then you have the prawn curry, you have prawn fried. You can see a small bowl of sol curry, steamed rice, and of course chapati. So this is
Okay.
this simple comfort food which anybody can have at any time of the day.
Okay. Let us go on to the next slide here. Oh, that looks really, really interesting. Punch foreign lamb chops with gulabi salmon. Chef, could you please elaborate or what was the special occasion to prepare this particular dish?
Sure. Uh, this we did at the Mirador itself, and this was we had a group of the French consulate which was over there. So the whole challenge was to use the Indian spices, but to use the international meats. So in this picture, you can see I have used the New Zealand lamb chop, and I have used the Norwegian salmon. And I have spiced with the Panchforan lamb chop. Now, Panchforan is nothing but the Bengali Panchforan with gulabi salmon. This is nothing but marination which was made with the dried rose petals, rose water, and hanker, and I will say a drop of lemon just for the simple marination of salmon. So this is what the dish is in front of you: the Panchforan lamb chops with gulabi salmon.
Yeah, that looks really, really tempting. I'm sure it was.
Thank you.
Bihari Thekwa.
Yep.
Chef, yes, yes. Yes, Chef, you can go ahead.
See, Bihari Thekwa, I would say that why would somebody ask for Bihari Thekwa? The Bihari Thekwa, it is just Bihar is it's known for its litti chokha, but it is known for its Thekwa also. So what is Thekwa? Thekwa is nothing but small savory snacks item which was basically which has its own history when people used to travel from one village to another, and when you say that the whole mode of transportation was not been available when we know for a long time back, so they used to carry small pocket foods which was basically just a tidbit when somebody stops in, so he can have his food. So this is when they introduced thekwa. So thekwa is nothing but it is just made with simple ingredients. You have refined flour, you have jaggery, and it is when flavored with the sofka powder, the aniseed. So
Yes.
so this is what the beauty of the Bihari cuisine. It's simplicity at its best.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it looks also very, very simple, but I'm sure it would, suffice the journey time that you mentioned. Okay, okay. Oh, Pathare Prabhu prawns alwadi and Pathare Prabhu uh, undio, mutton undio. That looks very, very unusual. Chef, when was this time or when was the special occasion when you actually made these two dishes?
We did the same at the Mirador Mumbai, and where we had a few chefs who basically joined us for the Pathare Prabhu festival which we did over here. So I would say that Pathare Prabhu is actually such a community which is known for its non-veg eating habits. So why non-veg eating habits? You can just particular find out from the two dishes which has been put in front of you. Because why would somebody think of making aloo vadi which is made up of prawns, or why would somebody think of making a undio which is made up of mutton? So I would
Yeah.
say these are. So I would say that this is what the creativity of the Pathari Prabhu cuisine is. They try to infuse non-vegetarians into the simple dishes and make a trademark out of it. So this is the what this we had done. So we had made Pathare Prabhu prawns ka aloo vadi, and we did humble mutton ka undio, which is in
Oh,
front of you.
okay. Okay. We go ahead here. That's Jharkhand Singodi and Bal Mithai.
Mhm.
That's nice. That's nice. That mithai, I guess, is wrapped in a leaf, if I'm not wrong, chef.
Yes, I would say the leaf which has been wrapped, it is the betel leaf or the simple pan ka patta what we have. So this is generally when somebody travels into the region of Jharkhand. So when we spoke that there's a festival which is going on. So it is a dish which is made with just few ingredients. It is made with coconut. It has dry fruits. It has condensed milk. That's it. Just 3 to 4 ingredients. You wrap it into the betel leaf and steam it. Just 6 to 7 minutes, and your dish is ready to serve. That's the special Jharkhand ka Singodi. And I would like to appreciate the efforts of putting Bal Mithai. I would say the Bal Mithai, which you can see in the screen, looks simple, but I would say there's a task which really hard task which goes into the making Bal Mithai. It looks when the dish isn't completed, it gives a total texture of the fudge. We generally make the chocolate fudge. So this is nothing but the fudge or the bal mithai which is made in the particular sweets of Jharkhand. In this, again, I would say the simplicity of Indian cuisine. Very very few ingredients, but cooked to its perfection. Again, I would say the efforts of making the bal mithai, you have at least 3 to 4 hours to make this bal mithai just to get the correct texture. So in this, you need to ensure that the heat has to be taken care of. If you cook this mithai at a very high temperature, you might tend to burn it. And if you tend to cook at a very slow temperature, you are just extending your cooking time. So there is a so in front of you the special bal mithai, and after the dish has been completed, it has been coated with the small sugar balls. Now you would see the dish is called as bal mithai because we call the kids also बच्चे बुलाते हैं हम बच्चे लोगों को बाल बालक. So name has been introduced from that, but the bal, and then it's the mithai. So it is in front of you. Indian fudge, which has been coated with the small pearls of sugar. That's the special bal mithai of Jharkhand.
Okay. Oh, Dumba turkey. Chef, I would actually want you to tell our students what exactly do we mean by Dumba.
Okay. See, Dumba is nothing but it's a germinated wheat. गेहूं जो होता है गेहूं the small the whole wheat. In this whole procedure, what needs to be done is the whole wheat, it has to be soaked in water for at least 24 hours, and after 24 hours you need to drain the water, and you need to tie the whole wheat in when until and unless you get the germs out of it, the germination out of it. So once you start getting the germination out of wheat, it has been ready to cook. Now, why Dumba turkey? So Dumba turkey. Now the turkey could be replaced either with, you can use a lamb leg, you can use a chicken, or you can use any other meat which is been readily available. So in this, what I had done, I had made a stuffing which is made up of whole wheat and other spices, which was been stuffed into the turkey with its own indulge for marination, and it was been presented during the Christmas time. But generally, we see when it comes to the Christmas time, it's been traditionally we have the traditional roast turkey with its pudding, with its roast potato, with its giblet gravy. So I would say no. Though we had really experimented with the Indian food over here, and we presented a Dumba turkey on the occasion of Christmas.
Oh, that's nice for Christmas. Okay, okay. Let us go ahead. Chettinad chicken with dosa waffles. Oh,
Mhm.
chef, here I would like to know, or rather, I would request you to tell our students more about Chettinad masala. What are the ingredients that go into the Chettinad masala?
Okay. Uh, what are the ingredients in the Chettinad masala? See, Chettinad masala is basically rich of all flavors. So to start off with a good Kashmiri chili, and there is a particular chili which goes into it that is also called as the Pandi chili. Kashmiri chili will give you color, and Pandi chili will give you the spiciness what is been required. And apart from that, you have the whole garam masala. We have peppercorn, we have cloves, we have bay leaf, we have cinnamon, we have green cardamom, black cardamom, mace, jaifil, and the coconut. Because when we basically travel to the southern region of India, we see coconut has been cooked in coconut has been used abundant into their curries. So everything is been roasted separately, and then you find it to a rough coarse paste to get the chettinad masala. In that, you need to ensure that you don't make a fine paste when it comes to the chettinad masala. So
Acha.
basically when you grind it, you should basically feel the grain out of it when we grind the chettinad masala. And here you see we had done actually an interesting combination. We had used the dosa batter, and we had cooked the waffle out of it. So that's the dish which is in front of you. We have the chicken chettinad, which has been presented with the dosa waffle. Because
Okay.
everywhere if you go and you travel to south, you get dosa, you get idiyappam, you get gannas, you get idiyappam, you get anything. But I would say why not make a waffle which is made up of dosa? So this is what we experimented and come in front of you. That's the chicken chettinad with the dosa waffle.
Okay, okay, okay. That's really nice. That's really nice.
Yep.
Oh, avocado thecha. So,
Mhm.
chef, how exactly did this thing come to you, to combine avocado and the Maharashtrian mirchicha thecha? Like, it looks super.
See, Khandesh has been known for its sunka and bhakri, and Khandesh has also been known for its thecha.
Hmm.
So I would say again, when it's come to the experimenting, because avocado is such an ingredient which is basically rich in many forms, rich in mineral, rich in iron, rich in potassium, many things has been in there in avocado. So I would say why not combine and humble avocado into the Maharashtrian Khandesi thecha, and we experimented, and I would say that we actually succeeded in it. It was actually appreciated by a whole lot of people. And if you see, the ingredients are very simple. You need to take a good avocado. You have peanuts. You have roasted garlic. You have bhavanagari chili. In this thing, what I have done, I have used the bigger chili, the bhavanagari chili. The
Okay.
bhavanagari chili is not so spicy, so basically it balances the flavor of thecha when you combine with avocado. And one thing I would like to add is when somebody is talking about the Indian cuisine and regional cuisine is we need to focus on the spices, because what is very important in Indian cuisine is just to know the spices. You know your spices, and I would say that you have known a lot about the Indian cuisine. You may
Okay,
proceed
so
further, please.
point to remember. Okay, chef. Okay, point to remember. Okay. Chef, what can you tell us about these two dishes on the screen here? Kache amrud ki sabzi and gullar ke kebab.
Gulnar is nothing but fresh figs. And if you see towards the left hand side, there is sabji which is made up of fresh amrut. It is nothing but kacha guava, kacha peru. So in this, the whole challenge what we faced is we were not supposed to use the commercial kitchen. We had actually set up a whole kitchen outside the hotel premises, and we had done the whole cooking on charcoal, and we had done the whole cooking on wood. The whole function we had not used no onion, no garlic, no potato, no carrots. So this was actually the whole theme was. So this is what dishes what we invented. The gullar ke kebab and kachi amrut ki sabzi. I would say it has a root of Rajasthan also. So they generally travel to Rajasthan. You can try the kachi amrut ki sabzi.
Okay. Chef, can I go ahead? Can I proceed to the
Yes,
next
please.
slide?
Sure.
Okay, Multani Mitti Ka Murg. The name itself sounds so very interesting. Chef, could you please give us few more details, few details about this dish?
So it's Multani Mitti Ka Murg. So the idea basically comes in Multani Mitti is nothing but basically a simple house pack which everybody uses at home. So, but I would say that it has got a very subtle aroma which everybody knows it. So I would say that so I was just sitting and I was just trying to why not we introduce just the aroma of Multani Mitti. So what we have done, we had marinated the chicken with the basic Indian spices, and we had wrapped that with a leaf, and we masked the chicken with the Multani Mitti. So Multani Mitti, basically when it basically dries out, it tend to become a little bit thicker, and the whole chicken was been wrapped in the Multani Mitti, and it was cooked in the oven for its cooking time 35 minutes. And you could see that when we basically cut the leaf, you could just feel the aroma of Multani Mitti of the chicken which has been there. So Multani Mitti ka fragrant in the chicken, but without the the flavor of mitti to it. So this is what Multani Mitti Ka Murg is. And what we have done, if you see in the top and side, we had taken the colocasia leaves, and the colocasia leaves we have actually fine chopped it. So it basically gives a crunchiness to the whole dish. So this is your Multani Mitti Ka Murg.
Okay. Last but not the least, meethe mein kya hai? I'm sure most of us were waiting for this section to come in. Chef, we would want to learn more about these sweet dishes that we see on the screen.
So we have the three dishes: kache haldi ka panna cotta, you have chiku ka halwa, and we have the malai cham cham. And what you rightly said is meethe mein kya hai. This is actually a small show which I did for the Food XP. So again, the whole challenge over there was to again touch the nerves of regional cuisine. So the first dish I would say I had used kacha haldi, the fresh turmeric, and infused that with the humble Italian panna cotta. So it has all the flavors of kache haldi, but been converted into a panna cotta. That's the first dish for you. And I had used cinnamon powder just for dusting. Second dish, it's been chiku ka halwa. Because chiku is such a thing which everybody loves, right? From kids to adults, everybody loves the flavor of chiku. So I would say, why not introduce a halwa which is made up of chiku? And finally, the Bengali dishes, what the Bengali people have been known for. So it's just a small dish I would like to experiment. That was the Malai Cham Cham.
Okay. That's about the PPT here. Chef, there are a lot of questions from the students here.
Sure.
Shall we go ahead with these questions from them?
Sure, definitely.
Okay. There's Kushal who says, I am thankful to Chef Kamlesh for sharing a valuable experience today. The webinar on Indian cuisine mantras was new learning experience for all of us, and this will certainly help us in our academic and career growth. My question to Chef is, due to the pandemic, tourism industry is affected badly. Getting a job or starting new outlet is a big problem for us. So could you please advise us on job opportunities in India or abroad? And someone who would like to start a small food outlet, what are the things that you should concentrate on?
I will say there is an opportunity for cloud kitchen right now. Try to invest in cloud kitchen. The cloud kitchen is such a thing where you have the minimum investment which has been used. Because if you at this particular time when you think of putting a particular restaurant or outlet, it will be really difficult, because these are the difficult time which people will definitely try to save money, and saving money is very important at this time. But I would like to say the efforts what you want to take is you may definitely invest into the cloud kitchen. And I would say see, hard times are everywhere. Could be a pandemic. How much days it going to last? Because someday you will definitely see the new sunlight. You will definitely see the new sunshine. But I would say the days are bad. But I would say the enthusiasm of the people should basically go on. Because if you create negativity in your mind, so that's not going to help. Get up. It's a new day. Try to bring up the positivity out of you guys and start moving forward. But I would say every day is a new day, and every moment is a learning moment to everybody.
I hope, Kushal, you've got your answer. Let's go ahead to the next question. Disha says, greetings to all. It's a great pleasure to have Chef Kamlesh Salve in our midst today. I also thank Team Webinar and Sneha ma'am for arranging such an informative webinar. I would like to ask a couple of questions here. The first question is, yes. Okay. The first question is, what points should we keep in mind while creating a fusion dish so that we don't lose its individuality?
So the first thing is try to understand what the dish is, rather than going to find the final product is. But try to understand. If you want to experiment with an Indian dish, try to find out what are the elements of an Indian dishes. How differently it will act with a different spice, or how differently it will act with a different cuisine, which basically carries weightage over here. So I would say that I had mentioned a point a few moments back. Try to know the different spices of Indian spices. But I would say the Indian spice and the ingredient which has been used in the Indian cuisine, it basically differs from region to region, and it differs from climate to climate. So the first thing which goes into it is try to understand your ingredients. That's basic very thing. So once after that you have decided, okay, I want to experiment with a particular dish. I want to experiment with a butter chicken. You want to experiment with an Indian dish also. So try to understand that when you are basically fusing that dish with a modern component, it should not lose its authenticity. First thing, work on the presentation. Again, if you are talking about butter chicken, or if you are talking about any Indian thing, you should have the flavor of butter chicken, which should be there. You should feel the spice. You should feel the punch. You should have the exact flavor of chicken. So, this, I do think so. All the points have been covered into it, right?
Yes, chef. Yes. Okay. Disha also has another question, which says, how can we preserve the authentic Indian dishes which are lost over a period of time?
See, I would say that knowing the root ingredients are very, very important. Because what has happened in the coming times, Indians have been just known for his butter chicken and garlic naan. So I would say that the webinar, what you guys have taken, I would say might put a little bit of insights of what a particular cuisine is. In Rajasthan, I would like to put a small insights of Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, there is a dish which is called a Jangli Mas. I know that it's been covered into the portion of the second year and third year. But jungli mas, it's been hunted meat, but it is just made with just 3 to 4 ingredients. Just 3 to 4 ingredients. You have meat, you have chili, you have garlic, and you have ghee, and you have salt. That's it, and your meat is ready. So, and what happens is, and I would like to advise young people also that when we are trying about Indian cuisine, is try to learn more books. Try to refer few chefs who are basically who have actually bear the flag of the Indian cuisine internationally and nationally. Refer books. Refer the internet for insights of any cuisine. Definitely, this will focus on the focus on the traditionality of Indian cultures also.
Okay, okay. So there's another question from Kasturi which says, does Maharashtrian cuisine get enough recognition around the world?
No, I would say no.
Okay.
It is, yeah, it is very important to get the Maharashtrian cuisine popularly worldwide, and I would say that slowly when you to see that when more of the Indian chefs have been focused abroad, I would say that there will be a particular time that Maharashtrian cuisine will also be famous on the world flag or on the map of the world.
Okay, so chef, I mean, it's my point of view. Do you feel we lack in the marketing part of it, marketing the cuisine that way?
I would say yes. I would say yes.
Okay, we got to work more on that as well. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
In few years, I would say in the few coming years, more, I would say 5 to 6 years, I will see. I would like to see the Maharashtrian cuisine globally.
Okay, okay. Sir, another question from Arshan. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, my question is, can you also share some points and your experiences while working on Avadhi cuisine?
Mhm. See, Avdi cuisine is basically what I said initially is what Indian cuisine is. Try to focus on spices. Spices is very important when it comes to Audi cuisine, because Audi cuisine it has its what to say uh, more of culture. It has the cooking method, extensive use of meats. So these are all the things which have been there into the Audi cuisine. Right from we call but kapori hai, galoti hai. There are many things which go into the Audi cuisine. And particularly, I would say that there is a chili powder which is used in the Audi cuisine, the yellow chili powder, and there are different spices which goes into the Audi cuisine. And for this, I would say that you need to refer a few books which will give you the insights of Audi cuisine. See, me giving you what to say few dishes of Audi cuisine is not going to cover the whole Audi cuisine, but I would say there are few masalas we need to take care. Is there is a masala which is called as the char khushbu ka masala. Char khushbu ka masala, which you need to experiment and find out what it is. And in few dishes they use the extensive use of sandalwood also. The chandan ka powder, what you get, the chandan ka powder. So the chandan ka powder is also being used in the Audi cuisine. So I would say that. So what I had said initially, again, spices, methods of cooking, meats. So this I would say does not cover a whole lot of Audi cuisine, but I would say this might have given you an insight of Audi cuisine.
Okay. Sir, one more question from Arshan. He says that if I have to open up a Indian traditional restaurant in a country abroad, what do you think? How is the scope for that? And will it be a good idea or good idea of investing out there?
Definitely, it's a good idea to invest, but I would say that finally getting out your menu, try to know what your client is. It's very important that whenever you set up a new restaurant, or to try to put an outlet outside India, it is very, very important to find out what your customers or what your clients are. So definitely trying to know, is there a palette for Indian food which has been appreciated? So these are things you need to understand when one talks about opening an Indian restaurant abroad. Because if you see, sorry. You just cannot serve the Indian spicy food just as it is abroad. Because I will say that we Indians, we have been eating the spiciness, chili, garam masala for quite a long time. But when you are traveling about the international clientele, it is very important that you need to do the Indian flavor, but you need to do it in a very simpler way, which will try to fit into their palate. This is very important when one talks about opening a Indian restaurant abroad. And I would say it's definitely good. Why not? You should, if you get an opportunity, you should definitely invest into it. Why not?
Yeah, with a proper research, yes, of course, it's
With
going
a
to be a
proper
good.
research. With a proper research, yes.
Okay, okay. Chef, one more request that we have from Kushal. He says, please give us a mantra to the
Mhm.
students who want to make their career as a chef in the industry.
Mhm. There is nothing such mantra to it. I would say that when somebody is looking for a job to be a chef, uh, I would say that definitely hard work. Hard work is very, very important to it. So, well, first I will say that when we were at the management and catering school, we were been taught that okay, you want to do a career in kitchen, you want to do a 16-hour duty, 17-hour duty, 19-hour duty. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता वैसे. It was there, I would say, exactly used to happen 15 or 20 years back. But I would say the whole scenario has been changed right now. Love what you do. Again, being a chef, try to focus on creativity. It's very important. And I would like to focus on a point which I had said last webinar also in different colleges. Is okay, it's good to refer Instagram. It's good to refer, but I would say that it is not just the whole lot of what it goes into the Instagram. Try to understand what the dishes are. कोई भी चीज अच्छी लगी तो हमने उसको इंस्टाग्राम पे डाल दिया, वैसे नहीं होता. उसके पीछे ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द एफर्ट्स व्हिच आर गॉन इनटू इट. This is very important. Okay, and I would like to say that please respect time. Time is very important. If you respect time, the time is definitely going to respect you. This is I would like to say. And don't stop learning. This would be my mantra to all the young people over there.
Okay. Chef, I think we've answered most of the questions here. If anybody has anything else to be known, from chef, to learn from chef, please put it down in the chat box, or then we shall call it a day. I don't see any questions coming in as of now. Okay. Chef, there are no more questions right now.
Great.
Okay. Actually, Chef, a real thank you, that I would want to actually say. I would like to thank our principals here for giving me an opportunity to host Chef Salve. Through this webinar, we were able to connect aspiring chefs to an experienced chef who was dedicated to bring innovation in our Indian cuisine. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude, Chef Kamlesh, for taking time out from your busy schedule. I know you're really busy, and now that the industry is picking up pace, thank you so very much for imparting knowledge and your experiences. I'm sure this was a very good learning for all of us. Truly Bharti and truly motivational. Thank you so much, Chef Kamlesh.
Thank you for the ordinary principal. Thank you, Sneha madam. Thank you, Chef Girish, for arranging such a wonderful webinar for all the young people. And I would say that some things somebody might have learned, and this is, I would say that बोलने का कुछ फायदा हो जाएगा if somebody learns out of it.
I'm sure we all are going to learn so much from it. Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Over to you, Kainaz ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef Salve, for giving your inputs and giving us such an enriching culinary regional experience to know about our countries, regions, the cuisine, local cuisine. Thank you, Chef Sneha, for arranging this. And this is Team Webinar signing off. See you soon. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. Thank you.